And today, the University of Waterloo's Intact Center on Climate Adaptation is releasing a tool. This tool is free, and this is to help plan for those potential disasters. The Municipal Flood Risk Check-Up tool will show municipal authorities where to avoid real estate developments, and it's sort of a checklist the way it's comprised. It contains 50 questions in 3 different sections. Joining me now to talk about it is Joanna Eyquem, who is a managing director at the Intact Center on Climate Adaptation at the University of Waterloo. But she is here in Montreal. We've had her several times on the program before. Joanna, welcome back.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be back.
Yeah, and with some very exciting news here, this tool that you have been working on is finally out. It is out there. How are you feeling about it today?
Oh, pumped. Just want to get it used now. I think, there's been 2 years of hard work from lots of people, and we really just want to get people using it. So, yeah, this is great.
I like that you would use a word that has a double entente with flooding. Pump. Yes, we're pumping things out there. Explain for us how this works, Joanna.
So when you go to the website, it's a free tool, as you said. It's an Excel spreadsheet. So essentially there's 50 questions, like you said, and people answer them with a pull-down box, and the answer is high, medium, and low for every single question. So it's pretty easy to fill in. And basically the first half kind of talks about the flood hazard itself. So we look at indicators of intense rainfall, river, and coastal flooding. And then the second half is all about preparedness, so the degree to which a municipality has already analyzed the risks and the measures they've actually put in place already to reduce the risk. So at the end of all that, you get like a scorecard. It's like red for where it's not good and green for where it's good. So it's pretty intuitive, and there's some graphics to really help visualize what the answers mean. And the idea is that people can then use that to allocate their resources, their kind of staff time and money to shoring up where we've got weaknesses.
And Joanna, a couple of things here. If I'm listening and I want to know, do I live in a zone where it's red? Do I live in a zone where it's green? Could a homeowner potentially fill this out, or would they not have the information that a municipality would have in order to fill out the section on preparedness, for example?
Yeah, it's really, so people could, if they want to know what their municipality should be doing about flooding, then definitely it's a tool for that, and anyone can download it. But in order to answer the questions, it actually requires the municipal staff to work together as teams, because that's one of the challenges. It's not one department that works on flood risk management, for example. Some of the measures are kind of more kind of storm sewers and pipes, and others are managing our wetlands and our natural assets, and that's different departments. So, yeah, people won't have the information, and it won't tell you whether you're in a floodplain. That's not a floodplain map.
Right.
But it will tell you what your municipality should be doing, and you can use it to go to your elected official or your MP and ask them, are you using the tool, and what are the answers to the questions.
Joanna, would this tool be dynamic? And by that, I mean, if I work for a municipality, I'm a municipal official, I fill it out this year. This year it's green, and the flood risk is in the green, all is clear. If I fill this out in 2 years, could that then change based on the answers I'm inputting?
It's likely to change on the preparedness side, and what you would likely see is it going from red to green as you're taking action, from kind of not being prepared to being, more prepared. We wouldn't expect people to be going in the opposite direction. In terms of flood risk, it's climate change, as you said, is making particularly urban flooding more challenging with these kind of cloudburst storm events overwhelming our drainage system. So the flood risk actually is likely to get worse. But so we need to kind of take action just to keep up with how worse the flooding is getting. So we're not actually going to see the hazard itself go down, probably. We're going to see the preparedness go up. And that reduces the risk. Right.
The federal budget was just tabled on Tuesday. Big push for housing, right? Billions of dollars, $19 billion for measures for housing, which includes a portion of that to increase supply. With the strategy to build quickly. And, you know, if you ask the federal government or the provincial government, or if you ask municipalities, everyone agrees there's a housing crisis. We need more housing. With that strategy in mind, and I think of how many bodies of water Canada has, what needs to be done to ensure that zoning remains properly zoned, where flood zones remain zoned and mapped as they should be?
Yeah, and that's definitely part of the checkup. Actually, there's, you know, specific questions on land use regulation, because from province to province we have different regulations. Municipalities have different zoning as well. So that is definitely one of the flood risk management solutions, is not building more housing in places at high risk. So that is definitely part of the checkup. And actually how we've used or how we've seen these kind of similar tools used in the US, for example. They have a national flood insurance program, and the premiums are less if communities have have done kind of some of the measures that are in this checkup. So we see that, you know, people who are looking at a flood insurance program that was also announced in the budget.
Yeah, National Flood Insurance Program. So the way this would work is the national program would provide financial protection to quote unquote high risk households.
Yeah, but then if those communities have put in place some of the measures that are in the checkup, then their premiums might be even lower, or they have advantages basically. So I think, you know, one of the things that there is this interplay between kind of municipalities being rewarded essentially for doing the right thing. And I think that is important, because at the moment they're kind of rewarded for just developing because of the development taxes. So, but what we are doing if we were developing high-risk areas is storing up potentially high costs in the future when those places flood.
Joanna, have there been conversations with municipalities? Do you know at this point, is there buy-in? Is there a willingness to invest in this tool?
So the tool is by municipalities for municipalities, I would say, because we can do this on area. We had 53 different experts across Canada, including many municipalities, including the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. So we had people who are just starting with flood risk management, people who have got much more sophisticated on their flood risk management, so a various kind of level of need. So we're fairly confident we're asking the right questions, but having said that, we would be more than happy to receive feedback from municipalities on the tool to refine it further. And, you know, we aim to kind of roll this out fairly aggressively. We were on earlier kind of on the show a few months ago talking about the home flood checkup.
Yes.
This is the municipal flood checkup. So we're going to be marketing with this kind of, you know, idea. It's free. It doesn't need many resources to complete, but we're going to be encouraging uptake of this tool, because if it's not useful if it's not used.
Yeah, Joanna Eyquem, thank you so much for this, and congratulations on this day, getting this tool out. Really appreciate your time.